This is an SM Media production.
Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media Pro Wrestling Show. I'm Scott McPike. It's a pleasure as always to be your host. We are going to be predicting and previewing the upcoming Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I'm Scott McPike, and I'm delighted as always to be joined by Scott Young.
Hi, yeah, how you doing? I can't say it's been the most energetic pay-per-view of all time, but no, I think we'll get into it. But I think it'll be quite good. All four matches.
I remember Super Showdown I was working that day. It was I'm sure it was a Saturday. If it wasn't a Saturday, it was a Sunday, and I was getting wee notifications and things like that. But I'm sure that started around about the same time. But it does have a weird feeling to it. I think it's just even the Crown Jewel events have a weird feel because you don't have to be drinking Red Bull to stay up and watch them. But I think that's kind of adding to it a wee bit for us that we can stay up a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's on. It's going to be on while we're having my breakfast. The only thing is, though, I'm not going to see it because I'll be flying.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll say it either because I don't wake. I'll probably end up setting my alarm, but I don't get up till like 10, 11, and then the Rangers game that afternoon. So,
Yeah, I know.
but I might set my alarm see if I can see it. If not, I'll just avoid Twitter and that until after the game, and then watch it when I get bored.
I might see the first hour, but again, I might just save it and watch it kind of later on that night. But we'll see what happens. But it is, I mean, there is obviously the one thing I will say before we get into it is that looking at who's going to main event, I think it's the right thing. I think Rhea Ripley deserves a chance to walk out in her own backyard as champion, defend the title. I think that is the one thing that I'm kind of excited by is the reception she's going to get is going to be unbelievable.
And she deserves it because she's been amazing. She's been ever since Triple H came in.
She's been
the
the star.
head of the best. The you get one faction that's sort of centered around Raw. It's a Judgment Day. She's been the best part of it. Her and maybe Dom, but Ripley's get and also she was part of my favorite women's match of all time, the Mania 39 with Charlotte. So
Yeah.
she's got the presence, she's got the aura, she's got the in ring work to back it up. And WWE haven't had a woman like that since Sasha Banks.
No.
When you think about it, and even I'd still say Sasha's a better package than Rhea, like all round package in terms of in ring promo, charisma, whatever. But Rhea's certainly getting to that level.
Yeah.
And as I said, she deserves a main event, and I think the match will be good because I think Nia's been great since she's came back.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that in the prediction. I think it's probably the perfect opponent. I think it's going to be a fairly good match. I think all the matches on here have the potential to be really, really good. I think though, what is it going to be? Is it maybe going to be the timing that's just going to be kind of maybe not make this a real high kind of event in our minds. But in terms of kind of what's been happening, it's been fairly quiet in the news front, thank God. There's still a wee bits coming out here and there. One thing I wanted to touch on though is, did you happen to see the promo on Friday Night SmackDown of a heel Rock?
I did see it. Yeah, I thought it was. I think you give it 100 out of 10 on
I
Twitter.
loved it. I
And
just loved it. As soon as he came out with the vest, then I thought it was the line. It's really hard to get me to belly laugh, particularly at wrestling. But see, when they started calling the fans trailer park trash, they went over and said to the guy, "I'm not going to repeat it, but that that made this kind of worth it for me. Even if it turns out to be like the next couple of months turn out to be a complete riot, which it's got the potential of being because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That promo." It made it. I loved it. I just loved Heel Rock. Reminded me of 20 years ago when he was Hollywood Rock. I just thought it was brilliant, and it's very hard to
yeah,
turn
I
the
do
Rock
think.
heel.
Sorry.
He's done it. Do you know what I mean? It's building to something, and that was always the plan.
Yeah, just what you said. Just touch on it. It's very difficult to turn the Rock heel. I think. I was watching this thinking, how good is Cody Rhodes? that Cody Rhodes managed to turn The Rock heel. Like, no one, like folks struggled to boo him in early 2000s because he was The Rock. I don't know how they managed to do it in 2024. But booing a nostalgia act, especially someone like The Rock, is almost impossible to do. But with, obviously, the people in the story, you get The Rock, you get Roman, you get Heyman, you get Cody, and Seth chucked in there as well. Then you get Triple H. They're all great minds for the business, and they're all great creatively. And they managed to piece together this. They managed to cobble together, parcel tape this story, and it's working. And you saw the numbers. I think it was like 2.5, 2.6
Something like that, yeah.
million. SmackDown got something like that. Yeah, that's the highest in 18, 19 months.
Well,
So
I imagine so.
I
But
think that's
was
what they
that the
said.
fact that The Rock was announced? That I think as well, because we were like saying this. We've been saying this a couple of weeks ago. Does this storyline need The Rock? And probably not. I think it's fine as it is with Roman and Cody, but it's added a different dynamic. As we say, we're very likely going to get a tag match. I just think it adds more. I mean, I would be very surprised now. I don't know what the plan is. If, let's just say, for example, Rock's announced to main event night one, and he's not announced to be part of night two, but we think he will be. Night one will probably get more views than night two will because of him. So it's beginning to, like, I didn't think when The Rock came back they would be able to turn them heel. I didn't think they'd be able to get the traction they got. I mean, they get everybody's talking about this. You know what I mean? The Rock's headlining the Daytona 500 this week, and he's a starter. And all they're asking him about is this. Do you know what I mean? It would usually be something like, what's going on with this film? What's going on with the XFL, whatever it is. The first few questions I seen him, he did an interview with, I can't remember who it was. He did an interview, the first three questions about WWE, and that never happens. That shows you that it's gathering headlines, and that very rarely happens. And that's the whole highlight of this for me, is that it just seems to be getting more eyes on the product. And I think the Cody payoff will work better now because of this.
I think I'm slightly taking a different tone. The business side, oh no, I just mentioned ratings, but the business side, I honestly couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Completely. Like, it's not going in my RBS account, so I don't care how much money they make. Like, I just want a good product to watch, and we're getting it. Let's say The Rock comes in his face, and you get Cody Seth. Say it's Roman Rock and Cody Seth, but they still get the same viewers. I would hate it because it's not what I would enjoy to see.
Yeah.
Because I want to see Roman Cody.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's the most. So yeah, whether this was the plan or the business or the backstage, I couldn't care less. I'm just enjoying what I'm seeing on my telly at the moment, and I think we're in for two. I think the tag match will be good because Roman. I think Roman's an incredibly underrated tag wrestler. Like the Night of Champions one, where Sammy and KO was him and Solo.
Yeah.
The Usos at Money in the Bank. Even before that, is Days in the Shield.
Yeah.
Like the Evolution stuff, the Wyatt stuff. Him and Seth tag champs for
Remember
a bit.
him and Seth against Cody and Goldust? That was
I was about to bring that one up. Dusty came out.
Yeah.
I think that was Dusty's. Was that Dusty's last appearance
Probably
on TV?
would have been, yeah. Probably would have been, yeah.
It would have been up. It would have been one of his last
Died
anyway.
the year after, yeah.
And it was phenomenal stuff. So Roman, I think it'll be a great match. It'll hide The Rock's weaknesses.
Yeah, and that's the big thing as well, because if Rock and Roman did a 20-minute single match to close WrestleMania 40, I think it would have been, when we were talking about it just before we came on about 32, how slow it was, it would have been up that. I would have been up there with that.
Oh, aye, definitely.
But
I think the crowd would have been more into it, which would have helped it.
Yeah, and I think as well, Seth being injured maybe helps that, no matter not, but Seth's not going to be 100% going into it. It's probably going to be a lot of it's not going to be a lot of wrestling on the mat wrestling. We know that. It's going to be like, it maybe not even be long. You know what I mean? It might just be kind of 5-10 minutes. It might not be a long match, but it's just going to be that scene of that. Do you know what I mean? Rock wrestling for the first time in 10 years. Him and Roman tagging together. Cody and Seth. Cody and Seth's a good dynamic as well, going into.
Aye.
Like,
There's a lot of stories at play.
There's that's the thing. Stories. That's what we've been screaming out for years. Is just a bit of a long term story, a bit of a kind of a good feel to what we want to see as a kind of long term product, and that's what I think I'm looking forward to. In terms of any other news that's been happening, there's been nothing really major, has there?
No, off the top of my head, you've got the. See, I think it was official. I think it was officially confirmed last week. Sting's last match is the Young Bucks. I think that's. I think it's been kind of teased, but they officially announced it. It's for the belt. So I think Sting's promo on last night's time. I think last night's time it was a great show.
I
Great.
loved it. Really good. Very
Wardlow,
solid. Wardlow's
Wardlow's a
promo
great.
as well.
Aye, I think the undisputed, the sort of devil stuff. It's not really done it for me. I think the story the reveal devil dragged on too far, and since Cole's been announced, it's kind of because the two main guys in it, MJF and Adam Cole, and none of them can wrestle.
There was a
MJF's
thing.
off telly.
There was a thing as well. How much has Adam Cole regressed? Maybe not in terms of in ring because we haven't seen him, but just in terms of a character, he's just not like it hasn't worked. And we can already come to
No.
that conclusion. Even if MJF comes back and they do something with it, I don't think the interest there anymore. Like I don't think I'm not looking forward to seeing MJF and Adam Cole kind of thing. We've seen it all in. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I just don't have the. I think Wardlow's actually added to it, and are they doing something? Is Wardlow's contract up? Because I don't think he's staying.
I'm not sure when his contract. I can check for you, see if it's on, see if I find out, but I'm not 100% sure when it's up. But I think I think the payoff is probably MJF Adam Cole. But if Wardlow keeps this trajectory up, it might spin off to it'll be MJF Wardlow.
Yeah, like Wardlow kind of eliminating Cole from the group, which again would be fine. Do you know what I mean? Like they could do something, but I just don't think. There was a weird thing last night with EW, and I really enjoyed the show. As I say, I'm very critical of EW. I'm more critical of what behind the scenes because I think it's sometimes a bit of a clown show. But as you've rightly pointed out, you can enjoy AEW probably in the week more than you can enjoy WWE at times. I think it's a better show at times. But I thought last night, I mean, just a random tag match. It felt random between Joe Strickland and Cage against RVD. Adam Page.
Is it Hook and Hangman?
Where did that dynamic? Like, do you know what I mean? There was no. I watched this. There was no build to that at all, and you think that's quite a good 6-man tag, but there was nothing to. RVD just plucked in out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Where's his connection to anywhere else in the mat? It just. I
think did the Hangman not select RVD as Swerve's opponent? I think that's where that came from.
Probably was, but it just felt as if it just felt a bit disjointed. But again, a really good overall show. Like I don't know if you've seen Ric Flair's promo. Oh my goodness, he needs to get off television. By the way, he's done.
I'm interested in him and Young Bucks. See what can come from there because I think why did they sign Ric Flair? I said at the time,
I just don't get it.
And he's not been on telly, and he's on I think they're paying him through his drinks company, something like that.
Woo Energy.
Yeah, Woo. Aye, they're paying him through that, so I don't think he's actually getting any money from it, money out of Tony.
And it makes no sense because Andrade's gone, Charlotte's in the other corner. It just feels weird, and he just looks old. And he's always looked old, but he just looks horrendous. Do you know what I mean? Like, just get him off television. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. I remember Ric Flair kind of his last days in WWE, and that was where he should have closed. I mean, the end against Michaels was perfect. Do you know what I mean? That was the way to end his career. The last match, nonsense. The TNA run, there's been so much he's done after that, where obviously he can't escape. But I just don't want to see him in television anymore. He'll probably be involved in the Sting thing, and he probably should play a part in that. But what parts are he going to play? I do think, in terms of Revolution, I think Revolution is going to be quite a good show. Actually, I think it always is.
I'm looking forward to it. The card looks great. Just adding FTR versus Moxley and Claudio last night.
That'll be good.
No, is it Moxley and Claudio? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
for
that'd be great. Because you've got
And-
Danielson and Eddie Kingston. I'm looking forward. That'd be great.
And it might be controversial here, but I would put the belt on Swerve.
I would keep it on Joe. I really like Joe as champ. I think Joe's the champ that AEW needed for a while. Like I like the MJFs. I love MJF. MJF's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. The face turn hat didn't work for me. Like he went from a very unique sort of heel to with this storyline of bidding war 2024
Mm-hmm.
on the face, and it wasn't very good. Like the devil stuff dragged, and as we said, like the undisputed kingdom isn't working for me. So I think they should bring MJF back as I think he's going to come back as a face against the undisputed kingdom. Turn him back to the MJF thing, like that MJF pipe bomb after Revolution 2022 with the Wardlow squash. Came out and cut this amazing promo on telly. Then he went away and he had a run of where he had the Regal stuff, the Moxley stuff. There's phenomenal stuff, and they turned the face, and it wasn't very good. Like the crowd liked it, but it just wasn't the connecting in the same way that Prime heel MJF did. So I think they turn him heel again and go back to what made him the talking point of wrestling between 2021 and 2023.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we'll obviously you're going to do a AEW Revolution right up next week, so that'll be good. But we'll move into Elimination Chamber. We've got 4 matches to talk about. We're going to start though with the Grayson Waller effect, which is going to feature Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, and you would imagine that this is going to set up the tag team, whether it's a challenge from Rhodes and Rollins. And one thing I think is guaranteed, though, I think Grayson Waller's going to eat a couple of finishers.
Yeah. Do you think it turns into a match? Cody v Grayson Waller?
Possibly. Yeah, he might do that. That could happen.
Because I don't
Depends
think 4
if
matches is enough.
if Cody comes out. It depends how long you're giving the 2 chamber matches and how long you're giving this segment. Possibly, I didn't even think of that until there, so that could happen. Yeah.
Because I thought my first thought was a tag match. Have Austin Theory and Seth, and then I remembered Seth injured. I think either it turns into a match, or we get an appearance for Roman or The Rock.
I don't think. I think that's.
Did you see The Rock's Twitter? The Rock put a
No.
video on Twitter
No.
that he said I think he said something like, if Seth and Cody talk trash, I'll fly to Australia and be there. So he's kind of half teasing he's going to be there. And Roman put that video out as well.
Yeah, I've seen Roman's.
He's sort of half teasing it as well. So they kind of half teasing the fact that they'll be there. But
Can you keep that? Can you keep that a secret though? Do you know what I mean? Can we? I mean, can you keep it that they're flying to the other side of the world?
Get Punk a secret.
Yeah, that's maybe a bit different though, is it not? Like, do you know what I mean? Well, how many? I mean, 2 weeks ago, everybody. I'm even checking if how quickly Taylor Swift can get to Las Vegas. Do you know what I mean? Even I've stooped that low. Will that not be the same? Yeah, I mean, I think it's very, very difficult to keep it a surprise. Again, you might. There's a couple of backstage segments I hear regarding Friday and SmackDown. Whether that's maybe a challenge being thing, because nobody said what was that. They didn't show them apparently to the live crowd, but there was apparently a couple of Bloodline segments filmed. So
yeah.
whether that's maybe setting something up, I don't know. I'd be very surprised if Roman or Rock turn up, but I think there will be a challenge set.
I don't think they would do this for no reason.
No.
I think
it's the right guy to do it. I think you've got the Australia effect with Grayson Waller. You've probably got, I would say, the most underrated heel in the company.
Exactly. I really like him.
I love him. Like, I think he's. I said to you before, I would put the money in the bank on him. Like, I think he's that good.
I mean, you said that. Yeah. I think it's like not the worst shout, but I do like him. Like he was brought in. I think he was brought in to be Austin Theory's sidekick, but he's better than Austin Theory in every capacity. He's a better wrestler.
I'd like to see if they do Theory as a babyface. I think that could be interesting. Like, obviously trust him enough to put him with The Rock and Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
I would be
And
interested to see what they do with
I
Theory
think
as
that
a face.
was, I think that was all. I think that was a plan with the Vince stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually turning face. Then I think the actual plan was to do Austin, or to be Theory versus Shane at some point.
Yeah.
But obviously Shane stuff for the Rumble, and then the Vince stuff, and yeah, that never really came to fruition. But yeah, I think Grayson Waller. I like Grayson Waller. I think he's in the right role as a mid card heel. He's a good wrestler. I really like his finish. I know it's a bit contrived going outside the ring and stuff,
Yeah.
but I really like it.
No, I like
So
it
yeah,
too. Yeah,
aye.
I'm a fan of Waller. But so overall prediction, what happens? Let's do that. We'll do that with everything. But what happens here?
I think it turns into Cody v Grayson.
I think Rollins and Rhodes present the challenge to Rock and Roman, and they probably will. Cody certainly delivers his finisher. Seth might do something, but I think it will be. I think it's the right thing to do. We'll start with the tag team match for the matches. Judgment Day versus Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, now known as the New Catch Republic.
Call them British strong style.
Nah,
Like you're WWE, you can afford the trademark. Just buy it. Call them that. We'll probably get you. We will eventually get used to it, like Gunther and Walter. And I eventually got used to Butch. But just call them British strong style, man. Not that hard. Get Trent in, why not? Well, is Trent signed anywhere?
Trent, he was in AEW. He was fighting Orange
I
Cassidy
think that was
last
the
week.
odd. I think that was just the odd Rampage or
Was it?
something, or the odd dark appearance. He might be signed with TNA. Actually,
Could
more I
be.
think about it.
Could be. I thought his
But
match against Orange Cassidy was actually pretty good.
yeah, if he's a free agent, just go get him and just make them a trio. But if you can't, just call them British strong style.
Are we in agreement here that the Judgment Day win?
Yeah, I think that's the most. I think we'll be in agreement for all of them. I think this is a
Yeah.
very predictable card.
Yeah.
Predictability not bad, not a bad thing,
Mm.
especially in wrestling if it's good. But yeah, this is quite predictable. I think it's Judgment. I think I said this to you. I think it's Judgment Day, Awesome Truth at WrestleMania, and that's when Awesome Truth get the belts.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing I'm reading here. I'm reading a couple of prediction things as we go down actually, and one of them is they're surprised that this hasn't been. They haven't decided this is the opportunity to split the tag team titles back up. Again, I'm quite surprised with that either. They've still got them as two belts. Do you know what I mean? They could still might see it after Mania, but
I think they're waiting to the Judgment Day drop them
yeah,
because am I right in saying they had done it? They sort of done it once. The Judgment Day faced the Usos at Raw 30 for just the Raw belts. Because that was a match just after the trial of Sami Zayn.
possibly they used to
Jay get
defend them
hurt
just individually. Yeah,
Jay got hurt during the match. No, Jimmy got hurt during the match. It was Jay and then Sammy went in. And that was
yeah,
just for the Raw belts.
that's right.
So they kind of have teased it slightly. But yeah, split them
Was
properly.
that Was it Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Was it?
Because it was the week before. It was maybe Damien Priest and Finn. But Finn got hurt. And Dom took his spot.
That's
Don't you
right.
remember?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Damien was like, no, don't want Dom. It was just at that point realised the dynamic of Damien realised, oh crap, I don't want Dom because Dom's really good.
Yeah, no, I think so. We're in agreement here that the Judgment Day win and move on to WrestleMania. Next one, will we go with the women's chamber match? Right, it's probably been made way too predictable, but I don't see anybody else winning than Becky. Liv possibly. I think Raquel coming back could hint to maybe they're going to do something with the tag belts for Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. There's nobody winning this other than Becky Lynch.
Oh, it's Becky.
It's 100% Becky. It needs to be.
Becky. Aye.
The one
Else,
reason I'm coming to that is because I don't think there's anything else for her at WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean? Like they did tease something the other night with Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton, which I think I would be interested in. Naomi was teased to do something. Becky, they've obviously they're giving her the promo time. She's doing the press conference thing. They've teased her and Rhea for so long. That's what they're doing.
I think we said that I think I said that 6 months ago. It's Rhea Becky at Mania. Because they've kept them apart. They've had sort of wee stare downs backstage and walking by each other. So they've probably had the plan of Rhea Becky for Mania for a while. And I think you're looking at a good number of women's single matches. I think you do Jade and Nia.
Yeah, that could be one. That could be something as well.
My original thought was Bianca and Jade, but I think Bianca and Tiffany. I think Bianca versus Tiffany and Jade versus Nia.
Yeah.
I think you do two women's matches. I think one night you do a title and a singles in terms of like Eel Bailey or Eel Bailey and Bianca, Tiffany, and the other night you do Jade and Nia and Becky and Rhea.
No, absolutely. And one thing I think with this is all six of the competitors. I think it's going to be a really strong chamber match.
I think all the matches would be great.
Yeah.
I don't look. I know there's only 4 of them, but I don't look at this card and think, there's not a sleeper match on it.
No.
I think the tag match screams takeover to me.
Yeah.
It screams this was a Triple
I
H.
think all the matches will get time. That's the thing. I think they'll all be quite long and not in a bad way.
I think you probably give the 2 non-chamber matches maybe 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and then give 2 chambers maybe 45. With that's bell to bell. That's not including your entrances. Then you've got entrances and peacock ads and the odd backstage thing. I think you're looking at maybe 2.5 to 3 hours show, which is easy watching.
Yeah, definitely. I think because it's at 5 in the morning American time, I think it'll be quite short.
Aye.
Like I don't think it'll be like a 5-hour nonsense.
Seen all the Americans complaining.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get up at 5. Shut up.
I don't have any sympathy for that. But yeah, I mean
No.
we're fairly going to be agreement here. Becky Lynch is winning. I think this could probably be the match I'm looking forward to the most. We'll go with the men's chamber match next. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Lashley, Knight, Paul, Randy Orton. For the same reason that I think Becky's winning, I think Drew's winning here. They seem to have everything, maybe with the exception of Randy. They seem to have everybody else featured in something, or kind of they're setting them up for something different. Drew has been an absolute fire. He deserves to win.
He's the only one in the match. I think the build to this match has been a lot worse than a women's.
Is the other 5 all
Because-
SmackDown?
Yeah, that's what I would say. They're
Yeah.
all the other 5 are on the other show, and none of them's interacted with Seth whatsoever. Seth's not split. The only one Seth's spoken to is Drew. And Drew's the one that spoke about the title. The rest of them are, I want a match at Mania. Oh, a title. I will have that one. None of them. It's Drew's been like, I need to beat you. I need to win a world title in front of fans because the bloodline took it away from me. So this is what I need to do. The other 5 have been on because they're all LA Knight. You've got LA Knight and Logan Paul. You've got LA Knight and Randy Orton as well.
Have they teased it? Did they tease that on Friday?
Or LA Knight, Logan Paul. They've kind of happened. They kind of they teased. It's LA Knight Drew is the match on SmackDown this week,
Right.
and Logan's been kind of in the same way with Becky and Rhea. Logan's always sort of teased LA Knight. Every promo he's kind of brought the name LA Knight. When he won the title, he was doing like back. Do you remember when he tried to pawn the belt?
Yeah.
I went, oh, LA Knight doesn't have this belt or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's always name dropped LA Knight. And I think I was thinking we were talking about this before. I'd love to see a multi-man.
Yeah.
I think a multi-man for the belt would be great. You've got a bunch of guys. You get like Dragon Lee, would be great. Ron Breaker on it would be great. Put people like that.
What do you do with Randy?
I think have him v Solo.
Yeah, possibly.
And the most 3-star match I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I just thought we'd maybe see a bit more of that. I don't get. I mean, they've made Solo. Solo won a match since Crown Jewel.
No, he's old. I think I saw he's like old 23 or something like that.
I don't get it. You know what I mean, that was the. Because that could have been the making. Like, it should have been the making of him. And why you put him old 23? You could do something with. I think just for. Is it maybe taken away from the Drew feeling at the fact that he's. I mean, he headlined obviously he's been kind of coming up short in the world title picture over recent months. I think he's just been doing so well with the Punk stuff. He's been doing so. Even the Sammy stuff has been brilliant. He just deserves to go here, and I think as well. Obviously, I'm as someone who's followed his career for a long time, he absolutely deserves that match on the main stage. He should have had it at 36 against Brock. Obviously, circumstances were very unique. I still think he should have beat Bobby the year after. He deserves that opportunity to win a world title at WrestleMania.
Aye, definitely. I think what you mentioned with I've seen that kind of on Twitter. Oh, he's lost. I think he's lost 2 world heavyweight. I think he's lost 2 world title matches. Why are they putting him in? Why would they have him lose them, but then go to Mania? But if you remember, the plan was Punk.
Yeah.
The plan wasn't Drew at Mania. The plan was Punk. And I think before Punk came in, I think the plan was Sammy. I think the plan was Seth Sammy.
Yeah.
I think that's where they were sort of heading. So, but yeah, I kind of feel for them.
Do you still think Sammy could be a 3-way?
I think Sammy's in one of 2 3-ways. I think he's in a 3-way with Drew and Seth, or he's in a 3-way with Gunther and Chad.
Yeah.
I think both I think there are a lot of possibilities, and they're all good. You've got a Sheamus. I think also there's for you a Sheamus to chuck into the IC picture. Got a Braun Breaker you could do something with, because obviously Braun took Brock's spot in the Rumble. Basically spot for spot. He could take his spot at Mania as well. So there's a lot you can do with Braun Breaker. A lot you can do with a lot of guys. And I think all possibilities are good, which is a good place to be in.
Yeah. So we're both in agreement that Drew is going to go over.
Yeah.
And it's probably, I think we're going to see a few wee builds here, and I think we're going to have a lot closer. Right, we're 3 for 3. I would be astonished if we're not 4 for 4. Nia's winning. The ultimate heel is beating Rhea Ripley in the main event.
Imagine. So I wouldn't put it past Vince. Let's be honest. You would not put it past Vince.
He loved to do that. Do you remember he did it with Bailey? Did he have Bailey lose the championship in her hometown? I think against Charlotte. I'm sure he used to do it all.
Losing.
Yeah,
I
think maybe Sasha actually.
Aye, Sasha losing Boston of all places.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Like, well, to be fair, they had Drew losing his home country of Wales.
Yeah.
The Scottish Warrior, home country.
See, looking back, right? Maybe in a wee tangent. Was that the right call?
Yes.
I think, and at the time, I hated it, but
no, at the time I thought, because in that week building up to it, everyone was like, "Oh, I think Drew's." I was never convinced Drew was winning. I was always thinking. See, the only thing that made me think Drew was winning was a WrestleVotes thing, saying this is the first time in ages they've actually spoke about Roman losing. But I sort of thought Drew was winning. I saw the WrestleVotes thing, which sort of in the back of my mind. But I remember thinking everyone saying, "Oh, Drew's winning." I was like, "No, I can't see it," because I think the plan was always Cody to beat Roman. I think the plan still is Cody to beat Roman. But I think the only other time was that Claymore. I thought, this is it, Drew's winning.
You know when my opinion changed and I thought Roman's actually winning here was when Theory came out with the Money in the Bank. Because I thought
Tyson Fury punched him in the head.
Because I thought at that point they're going to make this too chaotic for Drew to win, because already you've got Tyson involved and things like that. I just thought it was too mad. And looking back, it was the right call, because I think the longer Roman's reign goes on, the better the payoff's going to be when he finally loses. Like
I think the other one I think Sammy losing was a more incorrect call than Drew losing.
Yeah,
I would rather have
Sammy.
Sammy.
I never thought he was winning though.
No, neither did I. But I do think that I always thought Roman was winning, because I always thought the plan was Roman Cody. Because Sammy Cody didn't. I loved Sammy at the time, but it didn't. Sammy Cody didn't do it for me. I always thought, but I still think if Sammy had won, I'm more annoyed that Sammy lost than Drew lost.
Yeah, but again, was the whole thing, was it the payoff not better for Sammy, that the fact that he won the tag titles with Kevin Owens against the Usos?
Yes.
I thought that payoff actually made that a bit more sensible.
Yeah, but I still think Sammy deserved that world title more than Drew did. I think the work Sammy did deserve the world title more than the work Drew did.
Yeah, possibly.
I do sort just to go back to that. Did you hear why? You know the Tyson Fury karaoke at the end.
Mm.
Did you hear why that happened?
No.
They forgot to cut the cameras. That was always a plan. That was maybe a YouTube thing.
That wasn't a Vince show, was it?
No, I was Triple H.
No, it was, wasn't it?
Because they forgot to cut the cat. It was Freddie Prinze Jr. said, because he's still got, obviously he worked for WWE for a good bit, and he was doing an interview, and he went, yeah, I was speaking to, because I was pure confused watching this, because I thought having Roman and obviously Solo join the Bloodline at that point, and having them leave together, and having Drew look sad, and that end the show being a right ending, they forgot to cut the cameras.
I
They
mean,
thought it was the end, and then they realized, this is still going. I will just leave it. Because halfway through, they realized we're still live on air.
yeah, I remember it being weird at the time.
Just leave it.
I
Aye,
remember it
I
being...
was watching it like, because I watched it because BT Sport had it on for
BT
free.
Sport had it on for free, that's right. Yeah.
Well, not free, but not on the box
It was
office.
on, yeah, it was on.
It was
live.
on normal. It was on normal BT, so I was watching it on that, and I thought, is this a UK special?
Yeah,
Because obviously Tyson Fury in the UK and whatever. But no, they just forgot to cut the cameras.
yeah. I mean, I don't think we're getting the same sort of thing here. I think we're ending this strongly. People are saying, I've been reading a couple of things this week saying, oh, they could have picked a better opponent for Rhea. Personally, I don't think you could have. I think Nia Jax is the perfect heel. I think that big moment of Rhea hitting the Riptide on Nia will be the pop of the night.
Yeah.
There's no chance that Rhea's losing, and she's going to. One thing I would advise them not to do is have her come out with Dom. Just have her be herself.
Aye.
You know what I mean, have her be the baby face because she can. I mean, she can be heel the next night. She's going to be heel in the Becky story, obviously. This is her bubble moment to be the most over talent possibly this year. This could be the pop of the year. This is the perfect way to do it, and she's going to win.
Yeah, definitely. I do think. Yeah, I wouldn't have her come out with Dom either.
No,
I would have her just come out and like. I think the pop's going to be mental. I don't know if the Australia crowd will be like as. I don't think it'll be a UK crowd,
no.
a Puerto Rico crowd. But I don't. It's not a sellout because they've been punting tickets all week. But I don't think it's far off.
It's not far off.
No, I've not. I've not actually checked it. But yeah, I can't because that's why that's what the Rock and Roman videos were for. They were all punting tickets. But no, I can't see it. I can't see anything else other than a real win. Do you know, I was looking up? Do you know they've not had a match since Nia came back?
Rhea and Nia?
No, they've not had a singles match. I thought they had, but no, I checked on Cage Match the
No.
other day. They've had a couple of house shows, but no, they've not had a singles match on telly, which I think credit to them. They've been holding it off.
Yeah,
Because
no,
Nia had stuff for they might have had a triple threat with a Kel in there, but they've not had a real
they did not do the 4-weight crown jewel. Was that not?
Yeah, I that's what it was. Yeah, but they haven't had a singles match. Which
No.
didn't Nia, when Nia first came back, she attacked Rhea and Raquel.
Yeah.
Quite impressive. They've managed to hold that off until
Yeah.
now.
I think they've been built. I think
Triple
this
H
has
is
been,
very good. Triple H is very good at holding off.
and I think this has been the. I think they probably went right how because they're not going to no. Do you know what I mean? They've the Elimination Chamber planned for a long time here. They're not going to have Rhea Ripley go up against the big. Do you know what I mean? They're not. I thought they might do Rhea and Liv, and then I thought they're not. That's not really got the same dynamic to it. I thought they might do that here, but
Yeah.
I mean, Rhea and Nia is the perfect way to go here, and I think we'll give it 4 out of 4. I mean, I don't see any we're predict. I mean, it's probably the one of the very few shows that we'll predict this year that is so predictable. But I actually think that's quite good because I think all 4 of them have a good story to them. I mean, like, I don't think it's going to be just a like. Do you remember when Shayna Baszler won the Elimination Chamber? Everybody was saying she's going to pin, she's going to come in and beat everybody, and we all knew that going in. We've got the same kind of feeling here where you think, oh, right, we know who's going to win all these matches, but you're looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think that Shayna match, I think I said this before. I know what they were doing, and I liked what they were doing, but in execution, all you had to do was make Shayna come out last. So all you had to do, rather than her standing waiting about. She waited on Asuka, I remember that. Who was the other person she was standing waiting on?
That's bad.
She was standing waiting about and sort of like standing in
Was
the
it
ring, walking about.
Natalia, maybe?
Maybe. Aye, it was. That rings a bell. Aye. But yeah, all you have to do is have 5 enter first. Shayna come at last and beat everyone.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do. But I can see why they done it, because they want to make Shayna look strong, which they did. But it was a bit boring. I wouldn't have Becky do it in this match.
No.
I'd have it be a very competitive chamber match.
I
And
think we might see like
still have
Bianca
Becky
pick
win.
up like 2 eliminations. We might see like Raquel. They might. I think they'll probably book Tiffany quite strong here because she's probably the only one out of the 6 who's not kind of mainstream yet. So I think
Yeah.
there'll be
She
like.
will be, but
Oh,
she
she will
will
be.
be.
She will be. She's tremendous. She's
Aye.
tremendous.
Aye.
But overall, we're going to have a very enjoyable show. Scott, give us one wee prediction before we finish up. One wee big prediction that might be out the blue. Could we see a surprise? Could we see something happen? Which a big out there prediction.
The only one that came straight to mind was that Roman and Rock turn up and interrupt the Grayson Waller effect. Or you see someone like Alexa Bliss. Or you see someone get injured backstage and Alexa Bliss turns up in the chamber match. Something like that. But if I was to put my house on something big happening, if I was to put one big thing, it would be Roman and Rock turning up.
I'm going to do something here. I think we might see an appearance at some point from a UFC fighter.
Conor McGregor.
No, Alexander Volkanovski. I think could be there.
Yeah, I can see something like that.
I can see something like that.
I'm not a massive. I'm kind of a casual UFC fan. But no, I think after what happened in Raw, I can see them something with McGregor.
So that's what I was going
Maybe
to ask.
have.
I was going to ask you, right? I wouldn't be overly surprised if they had McGregor at WrestleMania.
That's why I was a bit. You know the Shane McMahon spot for last year
Yeah.
where he came in, fought Miz, and injured himself. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my
Do,
life.
do they need him though? Would that be a case of the whole event is basically just forgotten about? Because if Conor McGregor, people don't realise, I think, just how big Conor McGregor is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Conor
Conor McGregor
McGregor.
massive. He's not as big as he was like
No.
26, maybe 2015 to
20, 2015,
to maybe 2018.
between the Aldo fight, I would say between the Aldo fight and the bus incident, he was the biggest star on the planet.
Yeah, from
overall.
Aldo to Khabib, there was
Yeah,
there was no. He was one of, if not the biggest sports star in the world,
100%.
and he's always spoken about. He's always spoken about his love for WWE.
Yeah.
There's a big. I don't think people realise a big crossover between UFC and WWE, which is obviously they're now owned by the same company. But even before that, there was fans, fighters, wrestlers, a big crossover. I don't think UFC fans like to admit that because they think that UFC is the best thing since sliced bread.
The owner of UFC, no, the president of UFC hates when they get compared to WWE. Even now, you hear him talk. You hear him talk about he hates it. But
yeah, that's well, Dana White doesn't like much, does he?
nah, I think though the thing that we worry with McGregor, and I was thinking this after the Chandler thing, where if they do something with McGregor at WrestleMania, I think it would kind of be too much publicity, if that makes sense. Like it would be the case of, like you mentioned something very interesting when you were talking about the Royal Rumble that Nakamura won. Nobody talked about that Royal Rumble. It was all about Ronda Rousey, and I could see the same thing happening with this if they did something with McGregor at WrestleMania.
I don't think it would overshadow it as much because, first of all, Ronda main evented. Second of all, Ronda became a full-time member of the roster. I don't think that. I think the thing, even someone like maybe Wayne Rooney turned up on Raw and slapped Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
I can see it being a sort because Wayne Rooney was like what 2011.
Yeah, I'm right about that. Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
When Wayne Rooney was one of the best footballers in Europe at the time. That was peak. That between 2008 and 2012 was peak Wayne Rooney for me. What a great player. I came on Raw and slapped Lee Barrett. Was anyone really talking about it?
No.
Was it that big news?
There was a couple. I remember watching it. I remember the next day in Sky Sports News they did something with it, but it was like
Was that when WWE was on Sky?
Yeah, it wasn't even a big story. Like it was.
No, I can't imagine. I can imagine it being something similar to that because obviously Conor McGregor's a much more worldwide name than Wayne Rooney, but still, I can't see it overshadowing like Cody finishing the story, for example. I think leaving Mania, we'll do our show. Our title of our show will be about Cody winning more than it will be Conor McGregor.
See, do you think? Because I think it would be different.
It depends what he does.
Yeah.
If he just comes out, says hi, and accepts Chandler's challenge, maybe that's when they accept it at Mania, and then that's the build for. Is it it won't be UFC 30, UFC not UFC 230.
Probably be UFC 300. Well, the UFC 3, it probably won't be UFC 300 because I think UFC 300.
No, because they announced that main event.
And I think it's
UFC
before.
301.
I think it's before WrestleMania actually.
So yeah, I can't see it. I think if he comes out and accepts it, that's probably a headline. But I don't think it'll be as big a headline as, for example, Cody finishing the story.
Did you see the thing that we're kind of on a different course here? But did you see the thing today? Apparently, Vladimir Putin gave Habib like a gold encrusted plate for beating McGregor at UFC 229.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
Mental. Like
that doesn't shock me. That whole country, the whole country of Russia is just mental to me.
Yeah.
Just
it was worth like 16 million quid. Do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember the Fabergé egg with Vince that he got from The Rock? But that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, I can imagine something like that.
That's one of the funniest things I've seen in my life.
Do you remember them all running?
That egg.
That was peak Vince insanity. Let's be honest. Like,
oh, that's the funniest thing I've seen in my life.
Nah.
And then everyone thought it was Roman at first because Vince called Roman into the office, and Vince went, "Look at this egg, Roman." Cool, and then left. I think Roman pay me more money and left. Like cool, and then everyone's like, "Oh, it was Roman," and that's a build to Roman Rock was because of the fucking egg.
I think that's what they were going to do. By the way, that was like I
and Theory turned up. I think Theory was always playing because Vince was always a big Theory guy. Vince loved Theory, and that's no, you stole my egg. Tried to get a selfie with it. Right, cool. And Sami Zayn was there for some reason. I remember they were running about backstage, and Rhea Ripley, of all people, look at Rhea Ripley in the year 2024. Was it 2021?
Yeah.
The egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2021, it was Rhea Ripley running backstage looking for a gold egg, and now she's one of the biggest stars in the company.
Yeah. All we can say is thank God for Triple H, and thank God that we've got a better product. But I am looking forward to Elimination Chamber, Scott, and we're going to we'll do a review. It won't be next week or the week after. We'll kind of pay our Elimination Chamber and Revolution as a whole. You're going to do a Revolution right up during the week. So, Scott, thank you very much again, mate, and enjoy Elimination Chamber. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Nah, it'd be good. Looking forward to it. Cheers for watching, guys.
Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Enjoy Elimination Chamber, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.